Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kellen. Some of you already knew that, but if you didn't, on this channel we cover all things related to Christ. And in this video we're going to be checking out an interview with Lucifer. Warning, offensive content. Well, now we have to watch it.
Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is...
The top comment is, it doesn't matter if this is an actor in makeup and this is staged. It is still true, and frankly, this is a brilliant way to get the truth out. We're gonna find out if that is an accurate statement.
Whoa. Lucifer in the flesh. Do you know how many journalists would kill? Wait, you probably do.
Lucifer's first exclusive TV interview discusses success, popularity, and future plans.
First, I want to say thank you to agreeing to this interview, because I know you are a very, very busy person.
Yes. I usually like to fly under the radar.
The devil does fly under the radar. You guys watching this, you know how the devil operates. He's a master of deceit. The last thing the devil wants is for you to know that your thoughts and that your actions are being influenced by him.
But I figured, since I'm already on the campaign trail, why not?
Something interesting. Notice how he has the chains around his neck. You know, he's got like the flashy, greedy, flexy kind of sort of a drip going on here. Interesting.
We're on the campaign trail. Why not?
Okay. First, let's talk about your reign. Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success?
Hold on, cut. We need to make this quality higher.
Now, you've had a fairly long one. What would you attribute to your success and popularity?
Oh, that's easy. Every generation is the same. I appeal to their lust and ego. I offer all the sex, wealth, and fame a person could want. Do as thou wilt has been my campaign slogan from the start. And my campaign platform hasn't changed either. I run on the same three issues every generation: lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life.
So pretty much porn and money. Let's run that back.
Lust of the flesh,
lust of the flesh,
lust of the eyes,
lust of the
and
eyes,
pride of life.
Okay.
Pride of life. Pride, huh? Let's see if that gets brought up again later in this video.
When you say lust of the flesh, what exactly do you mean?
Say like probably porn, right?
Now. What do I mean? Isn't it obvious? I just use humans' own innate physical desires against them. And since sexual desire seems to be the most powerful, I usually run with that.
There's a reason why corn is free on the internet, and all you have to do to verify your age is click yes or click I agree. Yes, I'm over 18. Some of y'all watching this think the devil is not actively making moves every single day in your life and in the people around you's life. Master of deceit. Don't forget it. Don't forget it.
I didn't create sex, but I must say I've done a superb job at perverting it.
Yeah,
Take pornography, for example. Well, you should know a lot about this one, Ivan. Weren't you addicted to porn?
This interview is about you, not about me. Can we get back on subject?
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. What I do is gradually get someone addicted to porn. And once lust has had its full work and he and she can no longer restrain themselves, they usually look to act out their fantasies on someone. And sometimes that someone is a child. Now, if my plan plays out perfectly, that abused child will eventually turn to a life of promiscuity and perversion themselves, allowing me to continue my vicious cycle.
Yo, this is dark, man. You know everything he's saying is true. This is dark.
And here's the kicker. Many of those abused girls end up right in the porn industry. Now, how's that for irony?
The second thing you had mentioned, I believe, you said lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. Can you elaborate?
Lust of the eyes. So I guess that I would think that's technically probably corn, but the corn he's saying is more lust of the flesh, a lust of the eyes. Is he saying like how he purports this like greater than thou lifestyle using the false idols celebrities to purport this image of success, and people see that life they could have and spend their whole life trying to obtain it?
Humans are never satisfied. You always crave more. Bigger house, bigger car, more money, more power. The list goes on and on. I just take their natural ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction.
I haven't seen this video before, by the way. So pretty much like the greed of money. Like everybody wants money, right? So
Ambitious desire, pervert it, and use it against them for their own destruction.
make it consume
My
their
plan
life.
is to allow them to never be content. As long as I can keep them craving what others have, I can depend on them to argue, fight, even kill to get it. Humans are so easily tricked into jealousy.
And money is just an infinite object that people will give up their entire lives to work 9-to-5 jobs, right? These slave jobs, just to barely scrape by in life.
And you know what they say? Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Yes, I have heard that before. The last thing you had mentioned was, I believe, pride of life. Now, how does this fit into your campaign platform?
Pride of life. Maybe now they're gonna go into like sort of the LGB route of like life should be about following your heart and your desires, maybe.
Humans are always on a quest for knowledge. I tricked the first humans to seek carnal knowledge over godly wisdom, and it's worked like a charm every generation since. With more knowledge comes more pride, and you know pride is my specialty.
Bro, I promise you, dude, I'm not lying. I have not seen this video
And
before.
since humans don't like to keep God in their wisdom, I'm able to seduce them with all types of things to help puff up their ego. Lately, fame has been my biggest seller. Who doesn't like attention and feeling more important than the next person? Once I make them famous, I can really use them to promote my agenda. With their help, I've convinced half of the world to not only accept sin, but to celebrate it.
See, and I mean, right off the top of my head, exactly where my head goes is the music industry, rap and hip hop, man. We've seen this stuff with Diddy coming out lately. That's just the things that have been caught. That's one instance that has been caught. Like, imagine the dark, grotesque things happening behind the scenes, not only in the music industry, in the movie industry, all these industries at the very top level, they're all intertwined. It's the whole propaganda arena there, you know? This is a dark video.
Do you know what has been my most enjoyable pride campaign to date?
No, what?
Okay, this is
Well,
it.
my
Here
gay
comes
pride
the
campaign,
LGB.
of course,
Yep.
to date.
No, what?
Well, my gay pride campaign, of course. Not only do I get the chance to promote your own self-destruction, I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is
Did you hear that? I don't think you heard it correctly. Let's rewind.
destruction. I get to use God's logo, the rainbow, to do it. Love is love, right? My plan not only prevents you worthless humans from reproducing, it distorts the gender roles and allows me to bring all types of chaos and confusion upon your pathetic societies.
For those of you who don't know, God sent the rainbow down as a sign that he will not flood the earth again. You heard what he just said about how LGB has taken God's rainbow. And in fact, by the way, I'm going to point out here, the rainbow is still God's and it always will be. It's a wink and a nod that Satan is doing to pervert everything that God created. This is one huge example, and people don't understand that. And I don't want to come across as angry. I'm just passionate about this, man, because once you realize it is so obvious, and you have these people, and I feel bad for the people in LGB because most of them don't know. They don't know that they're being controlled by the devil. And just like he says, it's like these false idols, they're propping up this degenerate lifestyle for all of us regular people to want to spend our whole lives chasing, just to no avail most of the time. And if you do get it, you have to sell your soul in the process. Dark.
This has been so successful, I've got men convinced they're women. And women convinced they're men. And
It's perversion. It's perversion. That's all he does. He perverts God's great images that he's made, God's great creations. He just takes them and he flips them. Men are women, women are men. We got people going for kids these days now. It's so blatantly obvious, man.
some convinced they're no gender at all. And I've got 2 more Pride Initiative campaigns I'd like to introduce in the near future.
Really? I'm guessing you probably want me to ask you what they are, right?
Well, first, it's abortion pride. Now, I think we can pull this off. Society is definitely ready for it. I've enlisted to help a Planned Parenthood to work with marketing and promotions. And all we'll have to do is silence the so-called abolitionists and pro-lifers, because the rest of the church doesn't seem to care. And second is pedophilia pride. Now, society might not be ready for this one just yet, so we'll hold off. I need to desensitize them a little more before we introduce it.
Okay.
The desensitivity, man. They did the same thing. Whoever controls the world did the same thing with the pornography. In 2005, if you saw a typical ad that we run in 2004 with like a half-naked woman, if we would have seen that in 2005, we would have been blown away. But what they do is they take it 1% further each year. They slowly desensitize us over a period of time. Then 10 years later, it's just like a normal thing. You just heard him say it. I know this is kind of like a staged actor thing. That is 100% true. They're doing the same thing with PDF files. You're hearing all these stories pop up of it, and they're normalizing it. The conversation's going around more often. And if we don't do something about that, man, it's going to be a very, very dark, perverted world in the next 50 to 100 years. Recognize the patterns of Satan. Okay? Because everyone has to admit that he's not stupid.
Okay. Let's change gears for a minute and talk about policy. Some may consider your policies destructive, dangerous even.
Oh yeah, they're definitely destructive. Like, what are we talking about, Ivan? Are they destructive? It's not even a question. They 110% are. Did you really not know that, man? Take a look around.
What would be your response to that? What would you say to your detractors?
All of my policies are aimed to do one of 3 things: either steal, kill, or destroy. And if it's not doing one or all 3 of those things, then it's not in my agenda.
Devil came to steal, kill, and destroy. We already knew this. It's so obvious, man.
And I'm not promoting it.
Okay.
All 3 of those things, then it's not in my agenda, and I'm not promoting it.
Okay. I'm happy you said that. It seems as if you promote your agenda differently to different ethnicities. If so, why?
Of course. I'd be a fool not to. Take black people, for instance. As a people, they're super spiritual, so I can't really convince them that there is no God. What I have been able to do as of late is convince them that he's not the God of the Bible. Now, I've been real successful at promoting black consciousness and Islam in their communities.
It takes 5 seconds to skip the video and also 5 seconds to save a life. Let me tell you how.
I'm so happy you mentioned black people. It seems as if we've been at the very top of your agenda for quite some time. Why is that?
A few reasons. Black people helped me reach the masses. Now, as you know, I was over music in heaven. My beats were so dope, I got over a third of the angels to follow me.
I think he's going to start talking about like how in some a lot of black communities, sort of the things that they idolize. You know, I've talked to black people before who think it's an achievement going to jail, and I think it's an achievement to someone, and it's dark and it's sad. Let's see if he talks about that.
And once I got here to the earth, I needed artists and entertainers to help me promote my message here. Who better than black people? Black people possess all the natural rhythm and music ability that I need. And it's easy for me to influence them with money since so many of them grew up without it.
So what he's saying here basically is that he takes a gift that God gave a black man, that being musically inclined, and does just what he just said he does to it. He perverts it, uses it to steal, kill, and destroy.
Another reason I target black people is because they're strong mentally and physically. If black men were to ever find their identity in Christ, I'd be in trouble. So I try my best to destroy the black family structure and keep black men away from his family and the church. Drugs.
And there is a stereotype, okay, whether you believe it or not, there is a stereotype about black fathers not being in their kids' lives as much as maybe some other types of people. It's a stereotype that goes around. I'm not saying it's necessarily true, but that's what he's alluding to here. You know, and if we're going to say that is true, who else would it be from than the devil?
Drugs and incarceration are a couple of my more popular family and the church. Drugs and incarceration are a couple of my more popular means.
Drugs and incarceration.
Without the head of the household present, I can become the head and influence the children without too much resistance.
The same thing is what he does in schools, right? If a kid is going to a public school every day, the parent has such little influence on that child now because they spend most of their day at schools. So the kids are being indoctrinated not by the parenting, but by what they're teaching at the schools. And we've seen these videos going around of Pride Day at school. That's just another area. The same way he's saying here about what he does to black families. Make the fathers go into the jail. They're away from the house, and now the devil, can more easily lead the families astray without the head of the house there. We know what it says in the Bible about man being the head of woman. Without the man present, things can get real convoluted in there.
Resistance. Come to head and influence the children without too much resistance.
So you mean to tell me that your policies are intentionally racist against black people?
Racist? This has got to be the best law I've ever come up with. Now, I can't believe that humans still believe they're different races. But to answer your question, yes. It has always been my policy to target and isolate a group of people. And out of all my strategies, this skin color thing has worked the best.
And it's like that. It's like that in America more than ever, man. We've been divided for years now. Whites versus blacks versus Hispanics versus, like, everything's divided. You look at the political systems. There's people in this country that worship their political views. Right? You Republican? Are you Democrat? Are you liberal? Are you this? Are you that? It's just like this pick teams thing. And even a much smaller version of that is like sports. Like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't like Eagles fans. And it's just like, that's a little bit smaller of an example, but it's this division of everyone. And the way that it's portrayed oftentimes is, oh, it's just, it's very casual and innocent, but that's not the case, man. And if you go out in America today, to your day-to-day life, you can feel the separation, dude. People don't like talking as much as they used to, you know? Now more than ever, people are judging people based off of how they look. And they're making these assumptions about you without even talking to you. I've noticed that in the past few years, and it's because of Satan here. It is.
I definitely want to keep white people and black people separated. As long as I can keep black people bitter and white people offended, I'm good. Hopefully black people will never forgive. That way I can continue to use them.
Okay, my question is, what role, if any, does your administration play in this black on black crime epidemic?
Well, as great as my administration is, we can't take all the credit for this. Black people help us tremendously. By aborting so many of their babies, they allow us to bring death to their communities. As the Bible says. They sow the wind and reap a whirlwind.
When implementing all of these policies, do you ever face any resistance or pushback? And if so, from who?
One group in particular try to oppose every policy I try to implement. I would be so much further along in my agenda if it wasn't for them.
Really? So what group is that?
Christians?
Those pesky, born again Jesus followers. They're a real thorn in my side. Every generation they come together and try to dismantle one of my signature policies.
And it's the only way that he's never gonna go away, but that's the only hope we really do have is uniting, right? He wants us divided. We unite as followers of Christ. We're gonna make his job really hard.
Now, I've convinced half of the world that Jesus didn't exist and the other half that he wasn't divine. But I can't seem to convince them. They seem hell-bent on telling everybody about him and spreading his message. And some of them believe he's coming to unseat me in this generation. Crazy, huh? I tell you, those idiots are really messing with my legacy.
Bro. And that's the thing, though. If God's real, the devil has to be. If there's good, then there's evil. If there's hot, then there's cold. So if you know one of them's true, you can be pretty certain that the other is true.
So, Lucifer, how does that make you feel when us idiots say that Jesus possibly could be coming back in this generation to unseat you?
And y'all been saying that for centuries. I just use it as motivation to get as much of my agenda pushed through and deceive as many people as possible before he returns. I think I've done pretty well. My record speaks for itself. About 150,000 people die each day, and most of them don't know Jesus.
150,000 people. Whew. Well, you know what? This concludes our interview. I want to say thank you for an open, honest, pretty frank discussion with me. Is there any last words you would like to leave with our viewing audience?
Yes. I'd like to take this moment and give a special thank you to two groups of people. First, I want to say thank you to all my followers. You are the hands and feet of my administration, and we could do nothing without you. Keep up the good work spreading my message. And second, I'd like to say thank you to the divided church. I love the way you argue and use your passions to fight amongst each other. Keep up the good work. There's really no rush to tell people about Jesus. You all have plenty of time.
And the church with the pride flags on the outside, those churches are contributing to Satan's agenda here on this earth. Anything that presents itself as godly that isn't is contributing to Satan's agenda. The hypocrites, they're promoting his agenda. It's a choice we all have to make, man. Are you going to be living for God, or are you going to live for the devil? We all are born with an empty vessel. We make that answer based off of the actions we take in our lives. What is going to be in our spirit? Is it going to be the Holy Spirit, or is it going to be the devil? If you guys want to see more content like this, there's a little button right underneath this video. It says thanks on it. If you feel led to donating to this channel, it goes a long way into helping me produce better content for you guys. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, if you enjoyed watching that, click the like button, man, for the algorithm. Leave a comment down below, and check this video out here. Cliff Connectley, hilarious guy, little reaction video to him being funny and just completely schooling college kids. Until next time, we'll see you in the next one, man.